My father's name lights up my phone for the 5th time today. I watch it rattle on my shiny glass desk, a surface so different from the scarred oak table where I did homework as a kid. Outside, the Chicago skyline gleams in the afternoon sun. 5 floors down and 800 miles away from the ranch-style house I once called home, I hover over the ignore icon again. The leather chair squeaks as I shift my weight. 3 seconds after the call ends, another email appears from Lawrence Reynolds. Subject: your sister needs you. Last chance. My stomach knots. I open it. My eyes slide over the words, not absorbing anything but the last line. Chloe's wedding is the biggest day of her life. Be there or forget about any future support. A voicemail alert shows up next. I hit play and set the phone down. Maiden, it's your father. I don't know what you're doing, but this has gone on long enough. Your sister's wedding is in 2 weeks. Festivities begin this weekend. If you can't let go of whatever issue you have for Chloe's big day, then you can forget about further help from this family. Your mother is upset. Call me back now. A dry laugh slips out. I cross to my closet and pull a frame from behind winter coats. My diploma, the gold trim, still shines. Maiden and Reynolds, Bachelor of Science in Data Science, summa cum laude. 3 years here gathering dust, never hung up, because old habits stay, because for so long I learned to shrink, to stay quiet, to never outshine the golden child. My phone buzzes again. This time a text from my mother: please call, your father is losing patience. I glance at my desk calendar. Chloe's 2-week wedding marathon is circled in furious red. 14 days of ceremonies, photo shoots, family events, and endless forced smiles. I open my banking app. Savings $138, 13927, more than enough to live on, more than enough to know I'll never need their help again. They just don't realize it yet. A memory returns. 3rd grade. I came home holding a report card with all A's. Mom didn't glance up from her magazine. That's nice, honey. That night the living room exploded in cheers for Chloe's participation ribbon from a play she was the best one. Their dad was beaming as I sat invisible on the stairs. It's always been this way, but not now. I walk back to my desk, trace my name on the diploma, and whisper to no one, it's time they finally see me. My laptop lights up as I buy a first-class ticket home, not for them or me. The rental car grinds over familiar gravel as I pull into the driveway. My childhood home looks like a wedding catalog, now white roses everywhere, ivory cloth on the porch rails, and a big welcome sign that says Chloe and Elliot, a forever love. The door swings open before I reach the steps. Maiden, at last, my mother says, hugging me with more duty than warmth. Decided to help your sister after all. Before I can reply, she's already leading me inside, her voice brisk. The house smells of vanilla candles and fresh paint, every inch covered with ribbons, bags, or seating charts. It's not a home, it's a set for Chloe's event. My father steps from his study, glasses on his nose. He doesn't greet me with joy, just a nod and a clipboard. Good, you are here. Programs need folding, gift bags need stuffing. Chloe wants it all done by 4. I just arrived, Dad, and now you have a job to do. Before I can object, a shrill voice rises. No, 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 I said. Cascading arrangements, not bunched. Chloe sweeps down the stairs, phone to her ear, hair perfect, nails flawless. She sees me and holds up a finger, the universal wait sign. This is literally ruining everything. She complains into the phone. Fix it now, I don't care how. Then she turns to me with a heavy sigh. Thank God you're here. The caterer is about to quit and Mom is hopeless with the seating chart. Nice to see you too, Chloe. Elliot's planning a surprise for the party. I need to make sure it all matches. It's got to be perfect. She doesn't ask how I've been or what I've done these years. No one does. Elliot, I ask, putting down my bag. Per fiance. My mother says you'll meet him at dinner. He's amazing, a genius, investor, crypto millionaire. Chloe boasts dinner comes right on time with him. Elliot Brady, tall, sharp, confident, the kind of guy who belongs in a watch ad. So the famous sister finally arrives, he says, squeezing my hand too tightly. Chloe says, you're a computer genius, hiding in the city. I'm a product analyst, I say flatly. Sounds intense. He grins. I've got friends building an AI trading platform, revolutionary stuff. We should talk sometime at dinner. Elliot takes over the talk. Crypto, this investment that deals only through his network. My father listens spellbound. So which exchanges do you use? I ask lightly. Elliot's smile flickers. Oh, you know, a mix, mostly private, exclusive access through my guys. And your company is based where we're decentralized? That's blockchain. My mother shifts. My father gives me a warning look. Maiden, not everyone wants to talk business at dinner, as I'm not here for dinner. I'm here because something feels off, and I've spent my life watching from the edge. Not this time. Later that night, while everyone else obsesses over flowers and drinks, I slip into my dad's study under the excuse of looking for programs. The room is dark and still, its shelves filled with the same old business books from my youth. What stands out, though, is a folder half buried under catalogs. I pull it out. Refinancing forms, the house I grew up in, nearly paid off for years now, saddled with a new mortgage dated just 3 weeks ago. I scan the pages, the numbers harsh. $15,000 withdrawn, investment capital scrawled in ink, co-signed by my father. My heart speeds up. The same man who once argued with me over a $75 calculator for school has now taken out a second mortgage for Elliot. Voices drift in from the dining room. Lawrence, are you sure about this second mortgage? My mother's voice trembles. That's my inheritance. 2 She adds softly, Elliot has promised 20% returns minimum. My father replies too quickly, you couldn't understand investments, this is how wealth is built. I lean on the wall, my brain mapping the risks, the promises, the vagueness, the overconfidence. It's classic fraud, the type I warn clients about, and now it's here in my parents' home wearing a fancy blazer and sipping red wine. The next morning I stand outside with Aunt Helen, pretending to admire the flowers. You see it too, don't you? I ask. Softly, she doesn't look at me, but her voice is low. Mr. Wilson down the street lost $30,000 to a special investment last year. It sounded just like Elliot. I nod. He's slick, convincing, too smooth. His story doesn't hold up, he won't listen to me, she says. About my dad, started saying, I've always been jealous of his success. The words hurt, but I'm not shocked. It's easier to believe in Elliot's pitch than admit the truth about who he is. Later I stop by Rosie's Cafe, my old high school refuge, the same old booth, the same cracked counter, the same waitress Margie. She eyes my laptop as she refills my cup. That him, she asks, nodding to a picture on my screen. You know him, called himself Edward something with my cousin, took $60,000, and her ring gone a week before the wedding. My fingers hover over the keys. Edward Lambert, one of 3 names I've found. Ethan Lewis, Elliot Lawson, and now Elliot Brady. Same face, same lies, same escape before vows. 2 hours later across from me sits Karen, one of his ex-fiancés. Her hands shake as she shows me photos and files. I thought I mattered, she whispers. He made me feel chosen. Her voice shakes. He left 3 days before our wedding, took everything, bank wires to offshore accounts, stolen jewels, many victims. I close the folder gently. The wedding is in 5 days, and my sister is about to be his next story. I won't let it happen. That night I can't sleep. The hotel bed is foreign. The silence is louder than ever. I stare at the ceiling, turning over every fact, every photo, every document I've uncovered. My mind races through dates, names, cross-checking places, and times. It's clear Elliot Brady is a con and Chloe is just 5 days from being his next mark. By morning the plan is ready. I print it all, screenshots of Elliot's profiles under other names, wire receipts from Karen's file, police notes from 3 states, and most importantly a timeline linking each time he vanished to each wedding. It's all there in black and white. I go back to the house at noon armed with facts and resolve. The door creaks as I enter, but no one greets me, only the sound of someone crying. I follow the noise to the dining room. Chloe is hunched over, surrounded by ruined place cards and wet tissues. The calligrapher used the wrong font, she sobs. I wanted romantic script, and this is plain serif. It ruins it all. I pause at the door. I could walk away, keep my proof to myself, let things happen as they will, let her find out alone, but I know what that's like to learn too late. I step in. I can call the calligrapher, I say gently. She looks up through smeared mascara. Dad already did, at least he cares about me. Of course he does. That evening I call everyone to the living room. They gather slowly, my mom arms folded, my dad with a drink, Chloe trailing red-eyed but steady. Elliot brings wine. What's this about? My dad asks. I set the folder on the table and open it. This is about Elliot, I say. Elliot lifts a brow, a polite grin on his face. I've done research and found proof he's not who he claims. Chloe rolls her eyes seriously. My mother sighs. Maiden, not again. I hold my voice firm. Elliot Brady is an alias. He's also used Edward Lambert and Ethan Lewis. In every case he acted as a rich investor, got engaged to women, convinced their families to invest, and then vanished before the wedding. I hand out copies of the files, pictures, and witness statements. He's done it before, he's doing it again. Elliot laughs quietly. This is a mix-up. I have a common face. People get me wrong all the time. Karen's photo next to Chloe's, same man, same look, 3 women, 3 states, same story. I say. Chloe shoves the papers away. You've always hated my happiness. You can't stand that I found love. This isn't jealousy, I reply. It's evidence enough. My father barks. This is crazy. Do you think we're fools? No, I say calmly. I think you're desperate to believe in something even when the truth is right here. Chloe breathes hard, angry. You're just trying to sabotage. Look at the mortgage, Dad. I add. You've risked your house, Mom's savings, everything, and he's ready to disappear. My mother looks away. Elliot steps up, voice smooth. I get your worry for your family, but this is defamation. And just like that the walls go up again. They don't want truth, they want the dream, even if it costs them, even if it costs her. I sit alone at the edge of the room watching the people I once called family deal with the truth. They don't want. My father paces by the fire, his mouth tight. My mother fidgets with a napkin. Chloe glares at me like I've ruined it all, and Elliot stays cool as if he's done this many times. This is clearly an attack, Elliot says with just the right pain in his voice. I joined this family with only love for Chloe. I rise slowly. You joined with a plan, my father spins on me. That's enough, Maiden. I won't let you destroy your sister's day with these ideas. I meet his gaze unmoved. Then maybe it's time I show you who I am. They fall quiet. I never went to community college. I never came home. After high school I took a bus to Chicago with 2 bags and a full ride to the University of Chicago. I graduated at the top. I've worked as a product analyst since I lay my company badge on the table. 6 figures, full perks. I've lived quietly, and well, while you all thought I was a dropout home in the suburbs. My mom's mouth opens and closes. That's not possible. Call my office, check my LinkedIn. I've been someone else while you polished Chloe's ribbons. Chloe sneers. So what, you're mad because I got the praise, and now you want to shame me? No, I say I want to help you by attacking my fiancé with old photos and stories from strangers, by showing you who he is. Chloe sweeps the files off the table. I don't care even if it's true he's changed. He loves me, he loves your family's cash, I say softly, the mortgage, the savings, the inheritance. He's not staying after Saturday. Chloe's face twists with anger and pain. You're just jealous. The word stings. Jealous. For years I begged to be seen. For years I waited for a share of the praise they gave her for simply being, but not now. I square my shoulders. I'm not jealous, Chloe, I'm finally free. My father slams his hand on the mantel. Enough, you've said your bit, now leave. Elliot puts a hand on his shoulder, all concern. Let's not make this worse than it is. His voice is calm and fake. I gather my things and look one last time at the people I once begged to love me. When he vanishes with all you've given, I say softly, you remember someone tried to stop it. Then I leave. The door is heavier than I recall. At 17 I snuck out to breathe. At 26 I walk out with my head high. No lies behind me. They may never believe me, but I know who I am now, and I won't vanish, not for them, not for anyone. I spend the next day at Rosie's again, drinking black coffee in my old booth by the window. The same stop sign, the same path. Crack, but everything is new now because I am new. I scroll my laptop, eyes locked on a fraud report. For my pause, then submit. My phone buzzes. A note from Aunt Helen. He left 2 days before the wedding. Chloe's shattered. Your dad won't speak. I close my eyes. He did it again. I warned them, and still he left with their money, their trust, and their pride, just like the women before Chloe, just like I knew. But unlike them, I didn't vanish this time. I told the truth this time. I stood in the storm and didn't yield. 2 days later I get a text from Chloe. I'm sorry. Just 2 words, no excuses, but maybe a start. I don't reply. I not yet. Back in Chicago I hang my diploma for the first time. Frame clean, centered, visible. I call it closure. I call it a reminder. I call it mine. Later I write in a journal I haven't touched in years. Sometimes those who should have seen you never do. Sometimes being unseen teaches you how to be undeniable. Have you ever stood alone in a room of those you loved, saying a truth no one wanted? Have you ever been the only one to see the danger and still spoke up even when it cost you all? If this story speaks to you, if you've walked away not because you wished to but because you had to, then this moment is yours too. Don't wait to be seen, see yourself first. If you've ever had to stand in the fire and speak your truth knowing no one would believe you, you're not alone. Maiden story is for you. If this story moved you, please like, share, and comment below. Let's make sure no one who speaks truth ever feels unseen again.